Yep.
Do I sound
Welcome.
okay? I haven't recorded
No.
in a while. I don't know
Yeah.
what the volume levels and
Welcome
such.
back. Welcome to the Sleepy Pod.
How dare you?
Crank the heat, rock the lullaby channel.
Oh, dude, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
This is We Were Gamers episode, I don't know, 357, I guess. Yep, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a full house this week. Andy's over there
Yay.
and Michael's over there.
Hey, friends.
It's good to be back, guys. Been out for a couple weeks. Just the timing of stuff didn't work out together. It's good to hear you guys' voices again. It's been a while.
Good to have you back.
It's fun to text you, but it's better to hear you.
Yeah. It's been a wild couple of weeks. The first week that I was out, we were attending a baseball game the night that we normally record this, and it just was not going to be feasible to be back in time for that.
You mean the shorter baseball games that still take 3 hours exactly?
I mean, it was still shorter, but like they were in the ninth inning, and yeah, it was like 8:20, and so that wasn't happening.
I cannot imagine this shortening, quote unquote, shortening the games has increased the.
They are shorter. It
viewership
moves faster. I can definitely say, from my experience sitting in that ballpark, it moved. Like stuff happened, innings switched, game continued. Right, it was not a, it still was long in the grand scheme of things because it was still a baseball game. It took almost under 3 hours, but
yeah, it's around 3 still.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to know something about your baseball experience.
Mm-hmm.
Did you experience the new part of it that I actually am sort of here for, which is the pitch clock gamesmanship?
It's hard to tell from literally the uppermost deck of the stadium and not the back row, but not the back row. I will, credit to the stadium we attended. Even those seats are not that bad when you're like close to behind home plate. You can still see pretty well. The rake on that upper level is pretty steep, such that you still have a pretty good view. Like, for instance, where I was sitting, I could see the balls and the strikes over the plate quite a bit better than I think I could if I was sitting like down one of the field lines and much lower and closer to the action.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
So that was, a benefit. But in terms of what you're talking about, Andrew, I don't know if I noticed it. It's hard to discern that kind of stuff if you're not seeing, like, if you're not really dialed into the game the whole time, and you're with a group of people. It's like easy to be chit chatting or having drinks or whatever, and then like not pay attention to the fact that the batter called like batter's timeout like half a second before the pitcher was about to pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's the kind of stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the new pitch clock rules are inflexible in terms of their timing and exactness, and so that allows the pitcher and the batter, because there's a timer for the batter's box as well, right? My foot slid across the line and I'm in the box exactly at the last second, and now the pitcher's unprepared to pitch, that kind of thing. It's just been an interesting thing that is not super prevalent, but is at least starting to become a thing.
I've definitely seen it from games I've watched at home, where I'll hear the announcers call out like, "Oh, the umpire is like chastising the pitcher for trying to like quick pitch the batter or whatever," right? Like when the batter is like in there but not paying attention, and just be like, "Oh, here's a strike." Like the umpire then gets mad at the pitcher and like awards a ball or something. I don't know. There's like, they make weird. The thing I wish is that I wish the umpires all had consistent hand signals for who's taking the timeout and like what just happened.
Yeah.
Because I feel like half the time I'm confused, and the pitchers and batters and stuff are all talking to each other right there, so they get it. But like, I'm not, so I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing that has now happened because of the new rules is the stolen base percentage is wild this season.
Okay. The bases are too big, man. They made them so big. It is noticeable from the stands, right? And I'm in the like back row almost of the stadium. Bro, those bases are big.
Comically large.
It's big.
Yeah.
And they increased, they'll say, oh, it's only, another whatever inch or some inch and a half or something on the side or whatever.
Sure.
Dude, they just look so big.
Well, the Bill James Moneyball people would have you believe to never steal a base, right?
Just because it's like not profitable in terms of the pickoff ratio versus
if you have a runner on, that is a potential point, right? It's a potential point that is on the board, and if you get thrown out, you are out. And then there was like these metrics for when you should steal a base, when the success percentage was possibly above 80%, all that type of stuff. And so like in the I'm trying to remember this all off the top of my head, but like pre 2008 or so, when teams really slid back into like there's value in home runs, and the bases started climbing back up again, there was like a lull. I won't call it a dip, because the stolen base percentage is on an increase every single year because people steal less bases, but they get better at knowing when and how to do it.
Yeah, and then the people that do it are like, just specialists, even better, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
like, they're not going to have your catcher steal bases anymore, but that dude who sprints in the outfield will, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's stolen base kings right out there in the history of baseball, like Ricky Henderson and all those people. I don't think Ricky Henderson could possibly ever be caught at this point, considering the amount of bases people steal. The man stole like 1,500 bases or something in his career.
It's an unbelievable number.
Yeah. But since like 2008, it's hovered around success rate of like 75%, and back in the day when it was like, first you get on, then you steal, in the like 70s, it was like at 60%. So this year already, the average is hovering at like 81%.
That's absurd.
I can tell you from the games I've seen stolen bases. I have only ever seen one runner picked off in the entire year that I've watched. And it was because the runner screwed up and the pitcher whipped around and threw it to second, and the guy had like a gigantic lead.
Yeah.
And the pitcher whipped around to the second baseman, who caught it and tagged him out, and it was close. But he was out, but like it was close.
Well, so the new pickoff rules, I was wondering if that was maybe affecting it, but it's interesting to think the new size of the bases also.
I definitely have seen balks called, right? Which is the thing that never happened before this, basically, right?
Yeah.
And like I've seen more than one in a season, which is probably, there was one the entire major league, maybe like the entire season right before, and now it's like I've seen multiple, just the tiny section of games that I've seen.
There's
and usually it's like the umpire like calls the balk or whatever, and then the pitcher gets super mad and then gets charged for the pitcher's timeout because he's not ready.
Like cascading effects.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how all these rules affect things, but I don't think even with an 81% rate there's gonna be a new Ricky Henderson, but
probably not. But you do see people going for it pretty frequently, and I've noticed that catchers like don't try to throw to second, is from what I have seen. If the guy is stealing, the catcher's just like whatever. They'll throw him
the catcher, but
maybe like if the pitcher's throwing like a heater or something and thinks they could get it to him. But I've seen a lot of catchers just be like, I'm not even throwing this, like this isn't happening.
The art of the pitch out definitely seems dead, right? Like the difficulty of pitching increased this past year, and therefore like I don't know the stats, but I just definitely haven't seen as many pitch outs.
I've seen at least one, and it wasn't a case where like there was literally no benefit to make pitching to this guy. Like there were already 2 outs, there were already a bunch of people on base. Put this other guy on base and pitch to the weaker batter who's next.
Oh,
right?
so the intentional walk is not the same as a pitch out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You're talking about something different.
I'm
talking
so
about when the catcher steps out from behind the plate and the pitcher throws to him intentionally trying to pick a guy off.
yeah, so like the catcher steps out and his throwing motion to second is already happening by the time he's receiving the ball from the pitcher.
Yeah, no, I don't know that I've ever seen one of those.
Yeah, not this season anyway.
Certainly.
Yeah. Well, and the end of the shift too. Who knows? This all could be coming in together to be.
I will say the end of the shift has at least produced a lot more players on base more frequently.
Sure.
I don't know if that is a good or bad thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of high scoring games this season. I look at scoreboards and I'm like, 12 to what?
Yeah, Atlanta's game tonight just went final at 12-0.
There you go.
I will tell you the game that I attended. We picked the right one to attend. Firstly, because the next night they got destroyed. The next night was a sellout crowd because it was a free giveaway.
Oh.
And they got destroyed. And the game we went to, which was not the free giveaway, they won like 8-4 or something. So we attended the good game, and everyone who got the free stuff attended the bad one.
Wow.
That made me happy to learn. In hindsight, obviously couldn't have known, but it was good. I will say the pace of play having picked up made it feel different. I'm sure you both have been to baseball games. There's kind of a relaxed feeling, or there used to be a relaxed feeling about attending a baseball game. You're like, we're going to be here a while. Let's settle in. We can talk. We can have a good time, and we'll be able to see some baseball in between all that, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. You got to, if you want to watch the baseball, you got to dial in. Like, you got to pay attention. No time for chit chatting, or a lot less time for chit chatting anyway. And if someone gets up to go get food or something, God bless, they're going to miss 2 innings minimum.
Yeah.
Not even going to have time for my bag of peanuts.
Oh. No.
Yeah.
So
it's very pastoral quality is kind of different now, right? Yeah. No one has time apparently to go to a baseball game. Here's my problem with baseball. It starts at 7:30 at night sometimes, and so I can't go.
Because what are you going to do?
That. Even the games that out here start at like 6:40 are tough if you have to work the next day.
Yeah.
At normal office hour times. It's that's late.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun time for all that. It helps that our team won, so we felt better about it that way. Baseball's still fun. We'll be going to several more games this season, I suspect, but times TBD. That wasn't the only thing I was up to, though. If you guys just want to continue talking about me,
I love it
all day, every day.
I mean, I literally have no choice. So, it's my life, unfortunately. Then the week after that, right?
What?
Like 2 or 3 days after that, I was like, whose life am I supposed to talk about? I only live mine, right?
Yeah, but you know, we could talk about Shigeru Miyamoto's life. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about him.
It's not as interesting. I agree.
I've never met the man, and I know nothing to say. I don't.
Oh, then you're qualified to write some sort of best-selling book about him.
I guess that's the way that goes for famous figures, right? Like, you don't want to meet them. I don't know. Several days after that baseball game, though, we hopped on a plane to go back east to attend a wedding. A good friend of ours was getting married, and we did that on the suburbs of, well, I don't know, suburbs is I think it's the wrong way to describe it. Anyway, outside of DC, a couple hours. Great wedding, had a nice time, met some friends, came back. Man, I don't know, have you guys, when was the last time either of you guys got on planes? It hasn't been that long, right?
Oh, recently. Yeah, January.
3 weeks.
January.
Did the planes you guys were on need you to have headphones?
Need me to have headphones for what?
Like if you want to use the in-flight entertainment,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I have not been on one of those in a while.
Did you have to have plug-in headphone jack headphones?
No. I could hook up to so the plane I thought you were going a different way than this. The last 3 plane flights I've been on, you hook up your phone to the Wi-Fi of the plane and then you download their infotainment app and then
Yes.
that's how it works.
So that is what I expected and what I had been dealing with the last couple flights I had been on until this one, where they had seats in the back of the screen that needed a plug, and we didn't have those, so we were just SOL the entire flight.
What age is that plane?
Don't know, but that sucked. It was not great.
Did they
That was
not
a
have
bummer.
any you could request from the flight attendant? Because
So
every
I-
time I've been on that kind of flight, you've at least been able to ask them for some.
So I don't know at the time. It was like a red-eye flight, so maybe they were just like, trying to keep people to keep the screens off or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I suck at sleeping on planes, so I was gonna plan to watch a movie, but that didn't pan out because I couldn't get a headphone. On the way back, it was a similar plane. We had thought ahead this time and like stopped at a CVS somewhere where we were out or whatever and bought like the cheapest headphones we could find for $4 or whatever.
Here it comes.
And then they gave out free ones. Right. That was the way
There
goes.
it is.
So, I don't know. I was just annoyed by the whole process because I expected the thing where like I brought my wireless headphones, I had my phone, it was charged, I had a battery, I was planning to do the thing that you were talking about, Andrew.
Yeah.
And then no, frustration.
Bummer. I think that they should all switch to that now. Just I have my device. Just give me another inch of leg room and take all the TVs out of the plane.
Yeah, and taking the TVs out doesn't give you any leg room whatsoever.
No, but
fool
their
yourself.
maintenance costs go down for not having to fix TVs and all that. So maybe they
Did
can.
they ever fix them? Not confident that ever actually happened.
Fair.
Yeah. So that the wedding was nice. So we had a great time seeing friends and family and whatnot. But yeah, that was a frustrating series of flights. Not the way I would have wanted to do it, given whatever options we had. Last bit of thing that we got up to, we went to the symphony this past weekend, and we saw A New Hope in concert.
Oh, now we're back to the nerd
Very
stuff.
cool.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I say I'm walking it towards the direction of this podcast here. You guys, that movie's pretty good.
I have it at the top for a reason.
Holds up.
It's pretty good.
The problem is it holds up, and that's why it's up at the top for me.
It does hold up. I will say it was really fun, watching with a big crowd. But you just can't beat that orchestra, man. It's so good. All the music is good. There's literally, I don't think, a single track in the entire movie that's bad. It's like John Williams, you can just put him in the like pantheon of people like Beethoven and Mozart at this point and just say like it's those guys and John Williams now. Right? Like
he has produced a huge amount of memorable film music.
Iconic film music, I would say.
Yeah.
Like stuff that has defined the genre for years and years.
There are definitely people now that are like, oh, he's doing a John Williams with this track, with like this soundtrack.
Right.
Like there are people that you gotta start talking about like Hans Zimmer.
Sure, the man also is extremely prolific.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff, people, and now they're imitators, right? Yeah,
but,
very good though. I mean, like to do a soundtrack for those series of films, not back to back so much, but the first 3 movies being relatively close together, and then take such a massive break and come back to it with episode 1. And whatever you think about episode 1, the music in there is.
I wonder if he can hear us. We're hearing little beeps.
Yeah, can you hear us, Andy?
I have no idea what that means.
Hello.
Oh, welcome back.
Ugh. It's got to be the microphone, right? I mean, at this point,
Maybe you just
Got it.
got a lemon.
we think so.
Maybe you got the plastic oil pan of wireless mic.
We've talked about this on this podcast, right?
We
I don't know.
did.
You have to tell the story anyway now.
For people that missed like 150 episodes ago,
Go back and listen to all those, by the way.
go back to listen to anything that mentions Ford in it. I'm gonna shout them down by name. These morons, in an effort to save 10 cents on a bolt and another 15 cents on a gasket, decided the best thing they could possibly do was switch the oil pan for this brand new motor they were making from everybody else's oil pan, which is metal, gasket, metal, to caulk it on with some plastic.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. It'll probably stay.
Okay.
Michael, oil, famously very good at doing what when it comes in contact with metal?
With metal or with plastic?
All of the above.
I mean, it is a lubricant,
Uh-huh.
and it's the wrong
Slippery.
kinds of plastic. It does not play well.
Yeah. The other problem being when it leaks out of the pan because the sealant is not a good sealant, it then permeates the metal.
Oh,
Mhm.
that too.
And then when you put that caulking back on, it's not sealing because
doesn't, yeah.
it's caulked to metal that is permeated with oil. Oh my God.
Truly a baffling engineering decision.
And one that provided hours of entertainment to this podcast as I continued to have oil leaks and oil leaks and oil leaks. Yeah. Well, this is the oil leak of podcast problems. So I think we should probably move on from this.
Moving on. Yeah, that concert was great. We had a really great time. It's really fun to see a movie like that everyone kind of knows all the words. There was like people a couple rows ahead of me. You could hear a guy was like saying every line.
Oh yeah.
And
Yep.
like like the first time Han Solo comes on the screen, the entire audience cheers.
Sure.
It's just really just a real fun time. It is still the only version is the special edition, right? So Greedo shoots, which is dumb, and it has all those really dumb added scenes with like Jabba and the like weird robots and stuff in Mos Eisley, and like I forget what the other ones are, like the
Oh.
50 extra starfighters in the Battle of Yavin 4.
I don't hate all the extras from the special edition. I want to be clear. I think some of them are good, including that scene with Jabba is actually not terrible. I think the problem with it is like half of them he's just like, what if this thing did a somersault? It's like, come on, man, just
Yeah,
add
it's
extra
like-
stuff.
There's a scene as they're like taking the speeder into Mos Eisley where like a robot or like a little droid and a dinosaur are fighting. It's like the robot is trying to like hit the little lizard or something. It's like, what? Why is this here?
And what?
This is
And
just-
then the Jawa was gonna hit itself in the face with a spanner.
yeah, it's like don't do this. Like the movie is fine. It already has funny parts. You don't need this. Like just stop.
The movie is good as it is, and some of that stuff it does add good context. It gives you Boba Fett another movie earlier.
Right,
I
see
mean,
him.
if you watch them out of order, I guess.
The scene with Han and Jabba, I don't care about particularly. But like some of those silly scenes in Mos Eisley are like, why are these here? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I could see it.
There's like the stormtroopers combing the desert have like 50 lizards they're riding around on. It's like, it's okay. All right, fine, whatever. Like, this wasn't necessary, but sure, we added a lizard here. Okay, cool, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that movie is great, and that's a fun time. So, highly recommended for folks if you ever get a chance to see a symphony perform those. I recommend you do it. That was kind of what I've been up to. It sounds like I did miss a couple of things while I was out, though. Y'all do any of that free comic book day?
Oh heck yeah, we did.
We did indeed, yeah.
We cheated though.
What? How dare you?
To instead of waiting in line for free comics, and we went to the library instead, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Wherein there were many activities for young children, gigantic air quotes, including making perlers of comic book heroes and face painting and coloring while Dad got to talk to the Star Trek cosplay people. Yeah, just keep coloring. Which entailed at the end of it them getting like raffle entries and the ability to win board games was one of the things. Yeah, you give them the list, Michael, because I was leading up to this part and I was hoping you would jump in.
Yeah, so the top prize, in my opinion, and also why would you have this as a raffle prize at a children's event at a public library, JJ, was Bloodborne the board game.
Still in shrink wrap.
Yep. I mean, it's an expensive board game, I can say.
This is true.
I don't know that really
about all you can say for it.
Like it, maybe. Okay, that's a thing that happened, I suppose.
Yeah, but it was entertaining as an event win. I mean, they had stuff that library fairs that didn't have when we were kids, including the 3D printer station.
Oh, see, those are cool, man. Kids, listen up to old Uncle JJ. 3D printers are pretty cool. You should learn about them. Thanks for the tip.
3D printers are cool. They're
extremely cool.
That was actually pretty cool. Shout out to the Orange County Libraries for coming up with that idea. And it got us away from the massive lines at actual Free Comic Book Day. So when we went over there, it was manageable. You know?
Yeah, it had the benefit from being across the street from the comic book store that we would have gone to.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And you could stroll over there after the crowds had thinned a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Solid.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a good little thing, and it was fun to see like the little mini artist alley thing they had created. They had they had created a manga tent outside.
Mm-hmm.
That one of the kids was interested in and was like, "Oh yeah, look at all this manga and stuff." And then I stared at it and was like, "Oh, look at all this manga here. I'll come back later. If none of the kids have taken any of it, I will. I'll be checking out some of these items."
Some series you needed. It felt like you could collect a little.
It was all for checking out from the library. So.
Oh, gotcha.
But there was a prominently displayed series of Twilight Princess.
Yes, there was.
The Twilight Princess finally brings us around to talking about video games after 40 minutes.
Twitch. So we're gonna talk about Tears of the Kingdom, huh?
I haven't played it, so I have nothing to talk about.
Oh, I thought Michael said he already collected all 900 seats.
Oh no, I was laughing at the
spoilers, Andy. God, you ruined the game now. I'm just gonna throw it in the garbage. There's no reason to even play it.
You weren't gonna do it anyway.
That's true. People are very up in arms about spoilers on this game. I'll just say.
Oh,
None
are they
of us
really?
have played it. Oh, dude, bro.
Well, given
mad.
Given that the game leaked about a week early,
yeah,
there was a lot of pursuit of the leakers by the powers that be, and then backlash from the community about, "Oh no, you're spoiling all the game."
It's like, yeah, as we know, my policy on spoilers is I don't care. So go ahead, spoil whatever you want. People that want to be surprised, I want them to have what they want. So
that's fair. Good point. I can bleep it out.
It's also, who cares? If you're the crazy person who in the first Breath of the Wild collected all 900 seeds,
you had to assume.
First, why?
You had to assume they'd be bad.
Why do this? Don't put yourself through that.
I don't know. I want to know what the reward is.
I think it's like nothing.
I mean, in the first one.
Oh, in the first one, it was like nothing.
No,
right?
I know what it was in the first one because I collected all 900 of them.
Why?
He got you. He finally worked it back in so he could say it again.
Michael, why?
I'm a masochist for stuff like that, I guess.
I can't. I assume. I don't know. I got nothing there. Anyway, none of us have played the game, I assume, right? None of us know anything about it, so
I won't be playing it anytime soon. Unfortunately, for our listenership now, 30% of people have left, I guess.
Yeah, we won't be talking about it here. Sorry, guys.
Tune into We Were Gamers in 2026 when we give you our review.
You know, that's probably when people should review stuff like that.
It's definitely a lot of hyperbole flying around about this game, too. It's being like, oh, this is better than the best game ever, which was Breath of the Wild. This game is better. It must be the best game of all time. It's like, it's been out for a week. Let's, like, slow it down, you know?
Take a step back.
Maybe it is great, and maybe it will be a classic forever. Who knows? It's been a week, though. Like,
yeah, chill.
Yeah. The only thing I've been playing is more Pathfinder. I've been playing some COTC, of course, which I assume y'all have been doing as well.
Yeah. I'm. You guys are gonna be disappointed in me though.
Did you uninstall it? Because otherwise,
no. I just been doing old stuff, and I haven't done the new chapter yet. I just kind of am milling about. I started. This is why I'm a little tired today. Honestly, I've started getting up early.
Welcome to the club.
Like we old people do.
Yeah, and I just don't have like the time to do the story chapter in the morning before the things take off, and I have responsibilities, and then once I get home, it's like I have actual work to do. So I can't be playing a game all afternoon. And then I have documented vigorously on this podcast my current and everlasting inability to play this game in bed at night. so I've been finding
playtime.
I've been finding bite-sized things to do in the morning, like along with the dailies. Is like, oh, I'm gonna go kill 20 curators and get that little two ruby achievement. And you know, I've done 5 of those this week, so now I have 10 rubies built up. You know,
that's probably what I should do, honestly, for like easy ruby farming as we approach a time when that might be beneficial to have.
I blew my account during the Bravely. I don't think we've talked about COTC since then, but I kind of blew my account during the Bravely Default rerun. Which people that pay attention to Champions of the Continent will know that was a huge waste of rubies. But I wanted to get the characters I missed the first time around, and it seemed like a good opportunity to do it because I had a decent sized account. But I'm already back to like 1600.
That's not bad, yeah.
It builds up, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing stuff, they come back, you know.
Doing those level 100s has helped a lot.
Yeah, those are
a big boost.
And you know, like the ads, I get 30 rubies a week from the ads. So
yeah, I haven't done the ads in so long. I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not having fun, but I'm also finding it hard to like knuckle down and stay awake at night and play the new story. I know Michael's probably already beaten it.
I have also already beaten it.
Oh.
But you can really just do it in little chunks. You don't need to devote 4 hours or whatever and do it all at once.
Yeah, this story chapter actually breaks up kind of nicely.
Well, the previous one, literally, if you stopped in the middle of it and let the day reset, you were in big trouble.
Right. There's none of that this time. So I think we already told you that there are the gimmick this time around are a hallmark of JRPGs, the switch maze.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about the design of this one is that once you solve the maze on a particular floor, the path from the start of the floor to the end of the floor stays open.
Oh, good. Unlike the sand maze.
Yes.
Yes. So you could do a floor and then just exit back out, do your dailies, and then shortcut your way through that floor the next day to the next floor.
Well, that reduces my anxiety quite a bit. So thank you.
Yeah, and it. I'll tell you, I had to do that a couple of times because I got wrecked by that boss. Both of them actually.
Oh, what do they call that? The mini boss,
mid boss or whatever.
the mid boss, yeah.
Yeah.
Which in the previous chapter was not a mid boss because you just did it back to back with the main boss.
Right.
So the both of the bosses have gimmicks, Andy, that we have not seen before.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, go ahead and be prepared to lose. I'll just say because
okay,
I brought a team that just wasn't going to succeed on one of them, and just I stuck it out, and that was wrong. I should have just given up.
Cut your losses.
The only person's time who was wasted was my own.
That's funny. Oh man.
Yeah, but I am just kind of on a sort of on a daily login, get the farming done, and craft a couple pieces of gear, and then leave. Kind of.
I as the going through old content, by the way. Unless you really want to do the Minotaur every single day for like 3 months, don't farm Bravely gear.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
Haven't been.
Yeah, just letting you know.
Okay.
I did that experiment with some math and realized, oh boy.
Yeah, you took that one for the team there. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean that's been pretty fun. That's kind of been all I've been up to. But Andy, you played some Apex still? Are you still playing Apex? You talked about it a while ago. I don't know if you're still doing it.
I am actually. I tried out some new heroes. They just dropped a new hero in that game. JJ, he can carry 3 guns.
Okay, I mean that's one more gun than normal. So
okay. Some people are able to carry another gun that's like static. So like one of my favorite heroes is Vantage. She comes with a sniper rifle as her ultimate.
That seems good.
Nice.
Okay. So there are some guns in the game that are like truly very good once they're upgraded. You know how the upgrade system works, which is actually very interesting to talk about right now because Warzone just went through another big update too. And the way that you upgrade guns in Apex is literally like there are upgrade slots. Depending on how good the gun is standard, it will have more or less upgrade slots. So like a G7 Scout is pretty dang good. But it needs a lot of upgrades to make it good and accurate, because if it were accurate, it would be unfair, like off the floor, you know? Mm-hmm. And there's like, there's the like flatline, which is good and accurate and does a lot of damage. So there's really not any upgrading to it because all you can do is make it a little more accurate and make it carry more bullets because it's already pretty good. So there's like that balance that exists in the game, and you kind of have to know which guns upgrade how, and that's learning the game, etc. So Warzone has gone through a new iteration where it like all the upgrading happens outside the game, and now there's so many things that you can level that like it's literally impossible for a new player to have a good gun. There's like tuning maps, because not only do you have to put upgrades on the gun, but like you have to go in and tune each upgrade like a slider. There's like a slider on each one. It's like, do you want this to be more accurate, more fast, more, and it's like a XY axis thing. Okay, so like each gun in that game, you have to go in and level outside the game and do these math. It's like, why would I play that? I don't know. It's interesting to talk about both though, because they both overhauled their ranked systems, JJ.
Okay.
Both of them have landed on the idea that you should no longer get credit really for time played in a game, but instead like good placement. I don't know. So I don't. Apex is kind of changed up. So before now, you would play a game, and let's say I'm a bad player, because I am, and so I'm in the bronze category, right? Not the gold or diamond or whatever. To play the game,
I'm bad too, so that would make sense.
To play the game, we just go into the game and we get ranking points based on us doing stuff. And so, like, if we live a long time, we get some ranking points. If we kill anybody, we get some ranking points. If we do some damage, we get some ranking points. And if we place in the top 5, we get some ranking points. If you get win, you get some ranking points. Okay. So they eliminated all that, and they said, okay, no more rank points, no more ranks like there were before. It's just ladder position inside each group, and you get them by being in the game and doing well in the game generally. So, like, okay, yeah, you'll still get points probably if you kill people and stay a long time and assist and all that, but you won't get those points unless you do well. So, like, you need to place in the top, I think it's like 10 or 5 to get a certain amount of points. And then those things from before that you got points for are now a bonus on top.
Mm.
And beyond that, if you want to play, you have to be level like 50 to play the game, which, let me tell you, I've been playing for a couple months now on a new account because I switched over to the PlayStation 5. I'm only level 33.
What do if you're not playing the game? How do you get levels otherwise?
You can play unranked, right? You can play just pick up games.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I think all this is to really try to slow down the people that are smorking the ladder with just like Smurf accounts and bad play and cheating and all these things. They've really overhauled the game and just said, you know what? Do well or don't play.
Yeah, I mean, a competitive game like that, right? There kind of only is the win and the loss, right?
Yeah.
That's the system that Hearthstone has had for forever. Magic has a similar system.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, wins count up, losses count down. That's it. Win more, you go up. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because their system was the one everyone held up before. It was like, look, if you play and you put in your time, you'll eventually move up, and then you get to play against better people and you'll get better. And now it's like, nah, just do better from the beginning. And at the same time they did that, the Warzone, who's got the unusable weapons because you have to spend hours and hours and hours leveling one gun, which Apex already figured that out and was like, what if the guns just got upgraded in the game? Warzone comes out with their own ranked system at almost the exact same time. And what's their ranked system? Gee, if you kind of just smork the game and get a lot of kills, you rank up. And it's like they took the old Apex strategy, made it worse at the exact same time that Apex overhauled theirs and was like, there's too many people with Smurfs and cheating and all this other stuff, so we're gonna make it harder to play the game. Very interesting takes from the two pretty much biggest, I think, at this point, battle royale names left, other than Fortnite. Fortnite's its own thing. I don't know if Fortnite even has ranked. I don't think so. That would take away from Fortnite.
I bet it does. You're almost certainly wrong about that.
Oh, I'm sure. You know what? You're absolutely right. You know how you know that I'm absolutely right and you're not absolutely right? This article about Apex says Fortnite's adding ranked play. It doesn't have it currently.
Okay. Lesson learned. A game that I've never played. I knew
you
nothing
got
about.
Schooled at.
Dang.
I schooled you.
Now you know.
I am the one who is the learner.
It's weird. It's weird to be like, oh, okay, I guess if I want to play Apex more, I have to like invest a significant amount of time. Very strange.
You're saying if you want to play more, you have to play more?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Good point.
Oh, okay.
Yogi Berra.
That's a podcast, as they say.
Like, I'm calling it a podcast. I don't know what else to talk about. It's been a long day, long week, long couple of weeks.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. just stay good out there, folks. Be kind to each other. Make other people's lives better instead of worse. That's just my recommendation to everyone out there.
Send in 3DS stories or fake JoJo names.
Oh my god. Oh, I forgot Andy's watching JoJo. Andy, hold on, stop. Andy, how's JoJo?
I texted Michael, I think outside the chat, maybe it was in the chat, that he needs to start watching it because people using Tommy guns against vampires is fantabulous.
Are you in season 2 at this point?
So I'm in season 2, which is still technically part 2.
You're in part 2.
I'm in part 2, but it's also maybe season 2. It's very
Are you watching this on
confusing.
Netflix?
Yeah.
Have you had to select another thing from the drop-down menu?
I mean, it all just auto plays.
God damn it.
Oh, really?
Because there's if you're using the interface on the PC, or like a big thing, there's a drop-down menu for like which season you want to pick, and it's divided up by parts, right?
Oh, right. So on the PC versus...
I don't want to talk about... I can name events that will tell me where you are, but I don't want to spoil anything for Michael if he's going to watch.
Oh, yeah, but then you'd be spoiling him for Michael even if I named events for you to know.
Which is why I'm saying I'm trying to ask what part you're in.
I'm in part 2. I know the name of
the names of the parts is no spoiler.
Battle Tendency.
You're in Battle Tendency. Okay, I know where that is. I think
is the right one that I'm in.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I love that my confusion about stuff. A lot of time, you know what the cool thing about JoJo is? They are fully willing to confuse you, and then later, unconfuse you with a simple answer that makes no sense. But but because you're invested in it, you're like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute. This person is related to that person, but they're not really. Oh, no, they're mine. Sorry. Yep. I shouldn't ask questions. I should just watch.
Nope. Yeah. You think it doesn't get explained, but it does.
Michael.
It may not be. You may not be happy with it.
Michael,
anime.
People's names continue to be wonderful. As recently, I've run into someone named Susie Q.
Oh, okay. God, yes.
Who is a friend of Lisa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it.
It's at this point just wonderful. You know?
Yeah. It really is they don't make them like this.
They don't, it's not even they don't make it like they used to. It's they don't make them like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's that scene from Ghostbusters. You mean they don't make them like they used to? No, nobody made them like this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This was the only one of this. Why? But too bad. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you stick it out into the further parts.
I don't want to spoil it for him, but when the world events that happen in 1938 start to come into the show,
yeah,
I sure was like, man, these people must love Indiana Jones also. Let's say that I smile very much watching all that stuff.
It's absurd. It doesn't stop being absurd, I think, is the greatest part.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
All right. Well, Michael, if folks want to tell us about other great JoJo names and or stories from their 3DS, where could they do that?
They can send those to podcast@weweregamers.com. We're compiling our lists. We will actually get to them at some point.
Believe, folks, we will.
Before we play Tears of the Kingdom, how's that?
That's a safe bet.
I can keep that promise. I can keep that promise.
They should also check us out on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, We Were Gamers, and go check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah, youtube.com/@WeWereGamers, I think.
Hey, that's the one.
Yeah, check us out on there. That helps us out. So we appreciate you out there listening to us, and we hope you'll join us next time.